What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have an interesting video to go over. We have the top 4 decks of the format, and we're going to try and make them more budget friendly for you guys. So depending on what your budget is, these decks right now, they're in a pretty optimal state. This green steel list, you'll see there's one thing that I've heard a lot of mixed feelings on, and that is the Ursula Deceiver of all, whether you should play it or not. We actually ended up cutting it from this list, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's been working out pretty good. We also took out the sudden chills then. Just makes more room to have our Bruno's, swords, hidden coves. Avalanche I really like for the mirror match, and then also those top end cards like Tinkerbell, and obviously you're wanting all your other cards. So I've been really liking this build. We can do a video more in depth on it and why if you guys would like, but I think for the most part a lot of people are kind of tired of seeing Bucky builds. They're tired of seeing Bucky decks. Like, they're all relatively the same premise other than like a few tech cards here or there. So for today's video, we're going to go ahead and take this list and try to make it more budget and see what would we do if we don't feel like spending $680 or more, because again, Ursula Deceiver of all is not in this deck. If you don't want to spend $700 on a deck, we are going to cover Sisu, Ruby Amethyst, not that you need to, and Sapphire Steel as well in this video. So we're going to go ahead on over and let's go edit this deck. So we're on green steel and 680, so we want to be more budget friendly, right? Let's go ahead and get rid of the Diablos, see how that's going to work for us to begin with. We're also going to get rid of the Sad Beasts. Just by cutting those 8 cards, the 680 comes all the way down to 238. Let's go a step further though. Anything over $10, let's try to cut. Maybe not. That might be a bad premise for this video. How do we want to do that? I mean, $42, that is an expensive card, so we are going to cut the Robin Hoods as well. Is Bucky Discard still worth it at this point? Well, that's obviously up for debate. If we're not playing Diablo, we're not going to play Little Diablo. If we're not playing Robin Hood, we probably won't play that Robin Hood either. So we're down to $68, but we took out 19 cards. We need to fill that gap. We need to put 19 more back in, right? So if we're keeping Bucky in, because it's Bucky Discard after all, we got what, 4, 8, 11 Floodborns. So ideally, out of those 19, 11 of them should be Floodborns. Well, Aladdin's a turn 3 Floodborn, so we're just going to bump that one up to 4 right away. That's pretty straightforward. Let's go see what other Floodborns we have that we can go ahead and put in. We're going to go to classifications, Floodborn, and we sort it this way. Okay, cost low to high. What other Floodborns do we have at our disposal? Well, we can go a little bit more aggressive. Where's our uninkable count? We're sitting at 8 uninkables. Okay. So let's go 4 Flynn Riders. Brings us to 16. So again, we're probably going to want at least 5 more, because you really want to be like 21 to 25 Floodborns. So we go, let's go 3 Flynns. We'll add the little Flynns in a little while here. Other high-end Floodborns. Do we really need any? You know what? I've been testing this in this deck, so we're going to actually put a couple Aerials in there too. I really like her, especially when you start playing your songs and just dealing more damage. So we're going to put her in there and see how it ends out. Otherwise, Jafar Dreadnought's a pretty solid one. And that brings us to 50 overall cards. 4, 7, 10, 14, 18, 20. So we're at 20. Let's add 3 Donald Duck too. So 23 Floodborns. We're up to 23 Floodborns. How else do we want to do it? We need some 1 help. We got 7 cards to go. We didn't cut any of our 2-drop cards, but we want some more 1s. So we can get rid of the Floodborn stipulation now. We want Flynn Rider, right? Do we want the 1-drop Flynn or the 2-drop Flynn? Or do we want both? Let's go with the 1-drop Flynn first off. And again, this is just a real quick take off the top. I did not plan these videos out whatsoever, so we'll see how it goes. Where's our uninkable count? 11. 11 uninkables. Do we want the other Flynn to get more aggro, or we don't have that dedicated strong 3 play? We do have Pegasus. You do have Aladdin. So, I mean, you have cards you can play on 3, but we're really missing that draw also. So, let's go ahead. We definitely missed them in here somewhere. Good old Prince John. Let's pair Prince John back up with Bucky. So up to 61 cards. We got to cut 1 card. And if we're playing Prince John, do we want to go with other cards? So let's see. I like the 4/3. I like that. Hidden Cove still good there too. Let's take out the Avalanches. I still like the card, but obviously, you know, this deck is going to be really different. So we have 1 spot open. 1 spot open. Do we... I don't necessarily want to take out the Baboons. The Baboon's pretty nice. Just to try and make it more discard oriented. So essentially here, our curve is Pegasus or Flynn on 1, Bucky on 2, then Prince John, Aladdin, or Shift Pegasus on 3. Then if you want Prince John, 4 can be Aladdin, Donald, Flynn. I mean, you could Shift Flynn on 3 as well. Go Jafar, Shift Pegasus. So you have all kinds of options after turn 3. Really like that. 13 uninkables. I like that a lot too. Do we go more discard? Jafar offers some draw power. Donald Duck offers draw power. Prince John offers draw power. So we have plenty of draw power too. It's not necessarily good. I don't necessarily want to just throw Sudden Chill in there because it's good early on. But like as a 1 of, it feels so bad to draw into it late game. What if, depending what deck you're playing, if they have Rush, more Strength because you go wide. So let's do that. Let's just max out Strength. Especially with Ariel, adding another song isn't going to be a bad thing. So if we wanted to, go ahead and take our Bucky Steel, Green Steel. Let's move me up here out of the way of everything, into a budget-friendly list. Under $100 was our goal. We are able to do that, $94. Again, this is without testing, without thinking about it too much, just on the spot. What would I possibly do? This is a list that I would just initially test with and go from there. So we got 4 Flynn, 4 Pegasus, 4 Buckies, 4 Ursulas, 4 Prince Johns, 4 Aladdins, 3 Donald Ducks. Kind of replaces Beast, but your opponent gets to draw 2. However, if they're in like top deck mode and you let them draw a card and then you just summon a Floodborn anyway, you get to discard it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, and you get that extra draw. The 5 Willpower quest for 2, also very strong. Flynn Rider, again, kind of just makes sense. Jafar, another way that you can deal with your opponent's boards and draw. So we're playing 3 Flynns, 3 Jafars, 4 Pegasus still because he's really strong, 2 Ariels because, well, she's a Floodborn, she has 8 will, and she pairs up with your songs really nice in that late game. Like getting this card late game off the top of the deck feels really good when you're in a top deck battle. 4 Tinkerbell as well, 2 Baboom, 4 and 4 on Storm and Strength, 3 Bruno, 2 Swords, and 2 Hidden Cove as that sneaky card that can do pretty good. How do we want to do this? Duplicate. Okay, that's what we wanted to do, right? Duplicate. Let's see. Budget ES ... I will have this linked down below. So we're going to go budget. We'll call it competitive. I don't know how competitive it'll be, but it's there, right? It is there. Make sure it's in our My Decks. It is. We still got our squeaking. Okay, so budget, yes. See, like, yeah, no one wants to, like, look at Bucky decks, or even Sisu, too. Actually, geez, if I don't put a video on the deck, no one looks at them. Ouch. hurts my feelings so bad. So we're on to Sisu on Ice now. Unlike Bucky, it's not a $700 deck, so that makes this easier right off the start. It is still $400, so ideally we're going to try and cut $300 out of this deck. We just cut $700 out of Bucky, so let's go ahead and see what we can or cannot do. The downside here is Maui's a $12 card. You can't really cut Maui. He's kind of needed. We might be able to cut one of him. Let's see. Sisu, $4. That's probably doable. Keep that. Tamatoa at 9s. That might have to come down. Sisu's at 20s. Maleficent Dragons. Those might have to go. What else we got? Be Prepares at 8s. Lucky Dimes at 14s. Fishbone Quills at 11s. This one might be hard. I'm not going to lie. This one might be hard. Let's go Ruby Sapphire. Uninkable Control. Sisu on Ice. Ice Block Control. Let's go. We do have 20 Uninkables in the deck right now. So, let's say if we cut a Maui. What else do we have? Both Sisu. Maleficent's gone. 216. So we still have a long way to go. 7 cards left to replace. Man, oh man. Lucky Dime goes away. Where are we at? 187. Oh, holy moly. This is not going to be an easy one. I mean, even if we can get this to 150, I guess, wouldn't be the end of the world. Without Sisu, is Ice Block worth it? Fishbone Quill is like so mandatory in this deck. Can we give it a big enough makeover to go for the Great Stone Dragon instead? Because it's much cheaper. I don't know. Let's see, how far, one jump. So we might have to just do that to get $10 back. Add a how far to kind of keep our ramp. Get rid of Tamatoa. So we got 10 songs. The ice blocks are kind of nice though. But at the same time, who are we actually benefiting ice block from? Madame Medusa. Not that that's a bad thing. We're down to 139 and 17 uninkables. So 47 cards. Can we go $11 for 13 cards? We got rid of Tamatoa. Let's get rid of ice blocks. We're at 15 uninkable cards. We'll go back to 17, put the Ariel in there because she's like our cheap 5-quester. Vitalisphere's a solid item that we might put in. Shield of Virtue. I mean, could pair up with Ariel pretty nicely. Being on a budget too, it might have to be the option. So it's probably, yeah, Virtue. I mean, Vitalisphere though, the Rush +2 is actually pretty good, especially like you give a Hiram who's like a 1/6 already to that, can deal with some threats. Where else do we need to be? Where are we at curve wise? We do have the Develops on 1. We have Popsicle on 1. Nothing too crazy there. Only 7 items. We definitely need more items. More top end would be nice. How do we get more top end? Let's find some items in top end, right? We don't have the budget to go for like a Flynn Rider Frenemy playline. Still probably going to keep Sisu in here though. Maybe not at 4 though. Because she still quests for 2, 4 willpower. Or do we go something earlier and more aggressive? So now we got $26 to play with. 17 cards, $26. How do we want to do this? It's weird how we can cut a $700 deck down to $100, but we're struggling to turn a $400 deck into $150. I mean, like I said, there was 8 cards you could take out the Diablos and Beasts, and right there's like $410 gone right off the top. Let's try 3 Virtue at the moment. Not saying it's going to stay in there, but for right now. We have Brawl in there as an answer to Bucky. Wouldn't hurt to have another answer for Bucky. What about turn 2? What do we have for turn 2? 1 jump, otherwise playing a 1 drop. But that really isn't any different than before. What if we go with back to the Queen? Last format it was pretty decent. This format it's a little unnecessary. Or do we go the Scuttle? Scuttle, dig for those items, set up the Hiram draws. Go down to 2 Virtue maybe. Let's see. Might even keep both still. Keep the Queen, keep the Scuttle. Gives you a little bit more early presence. We need a bigger late game, though. So let's go ahead and organize this high to low. We have what? 8 cards, $24. If we get 6 cards for really cheap, maybe we throw 2 Tamatoa back in there. Grammatala is a cheap option. Otherwise, be prepared to Scar even. Not necessarily a bad card to play. Gaston, where's our uninkable count? 17s. 17. Well, we don't just want vanillas, although a 6/6 2-quester is a pretty good vanilla, especially being inkable. Shift 3 if that's the route you want to go. Shift 5 with the potential to draw. But the little basil's not really an ideal play. Treasure so Untold kind of replaces the Tamatoa being able to get those cards back. We're at 17, 18, 19. Tremaine gives us a couple more late game threats. 19 on Inkable then. At 130 overall. Let's see. One of those characters. Hydra can be a way to also deal with your opponent. Do you go a Mulan maybe even? You're not going to get the shift value, but if you deal 2 damage, then dealing 2 damage to 2 more characters can be really good in the Bucky matchup. Hit those evasive characters that are hard to get. Otherwise, how do we answer our opponent? Let It Go is a cheap option. So we can go with Let It Go. Still only 9 items. I'd like to get that up by 2 more. What are we at? 130? Okay, let's go right here. Fishbone Quill back up. So we're at 141. We have $8 for 5 more cards. 27 characters. Turn 1, develop, or Popsicle. If you have to, Shield of Virtue, but that's really not a turn 1 play. Turn 2, you got 1 jump, Scuttle, or Queen of Hearts. I'm okay with that, I think. We're at 10 items. Wouldn't mind getting more in there, but we'll see. 3, you really want to hit your Fishbone Quill, but if you're going on the draw, you can Brawl. Otherwise, turn 4, Tala or Hiram. 5, Maui. 6, Tremaine, Medusa, all that good stuff. 141. Ariel. Is there better options? Dragonfire can deal with opponent's card. Let It Go also does, but it's inkable. What if we go 4 mana, just because I feel like locations are actually pretty good right now, and that's just a lot of defense for your opponent to have to get over. And usually against this deck, your opponent doesn't want to be questing or challenging you. They would rather be questing and trying to win that way. Super Goof would be a decent option too. Another rush character to go quick. Where's our cost curve? 10 ones, 11 twos, 8 threes. Then we really get up with the force. Makes sense. 19 uninkables. Makes sense. Okay, $8. One card. Where, oh where? What card, what card, what card? And by all means, guys, down below, let me know other things. Because again, this is kind of on the spot, but we go with it. What about Maui's Fishhook? Even as a one of. Evasive or +3 is pretty good. What does Virtue really give us? I mean, 3 ink, re-ready your your aerial. Let's go 2 Fishhook, 1 Shield of Virtue. Gets us back to 11 items. I think I'm okay with that list. So we got it under $150. We made it a relatively budget deck. So going through Sisu on ice, yeah, I don't think we can call it that. This is more just red-blue control, uninkable control, because we don't have Sisus or the ice anymore. So there is that. Let me know also down below if you like this kind of video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have our case giveaway at 4,000 subscribers. If we do it before the set 5 release, you guessed it, we're giving away a case of set 5. If we don't worry. We're pushing that giveaway back to set 6. And if we hit 4K by set 6 release, we're giving away a case of set 6. Either way, we're giving away a case in the next half a year. So here we go. 4 Queen of Hearts, 3 Scuttle, 4 Grammatala to check your deck, get a card, 4 Hirams, 3 Mauis, 2 Lady Tremaines, 3 Madame Medusas, 4 Aerials, 4 Develop, 4 Brawl, 4 One Jump, 4 How Far, 2 B Prep, 1 Shield of Virtue, 4 Popsicle, 2 Fishhook, 4 Fishbone Quill, and 4 McDuck Manor. So we kind of sped up the deck a little bit because we're losing some of that top end, because that's where a lot of the cost comes in this deck. So let's go. Budget, RB, control. There we go. Budget, control, competitive. On to this next deck. We better be able to get it under $100, or maybe we just don't do anything to it. Ruby Amethyst. So this list comes in at $186. As far as meta decks goes, this is the most budget one right out the gate. If you're looking for a cheap deck that you actually want to play like full powered, this is the deck to go to. You can guess by the price point, we're not playing the Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, but I don't think you really need to in this deck at all either. So let's see. I don't know if we really... What changes will we go for here? It's actually going to be pretty hard to get it under $100 while still being competitive, because a few pricey cards are pretty needed. Let's see, where do we have money here? If we get rid of the Flynn Rider Frenemy package, that's $22, that's $30 right there. 6 cards, $30 gone. $42 if we cut Maui down to 3, kind of like the last deck. That would get us into that ballpark where we can start playing around with things. And maybe we cut a friend or a Queen's Castle. Let's try that. So, like we said, we will cut out the Frenemy engine, which is actually just really good in this deck. Take advantage of all your high cost or high attack power characters. And what do we say, 1 Maui? Gets us to 143. Can we get 7 more cards in $7? I think we can. We're at 12 unequals, so we got room there. What are we playing? Playing. Let's get Lady Tremaine in there. I know, 2 copies. Ooh, 5 cards. We got $2 for 5 cards. Can we fix that? $2, 5 cards. Let's see, cost curve, 8, 8, 14, 14, 14 on inkables, high end there, not too bad. We have our late game removal with B Prep, with B King. We have Queen's Castle still at 4. If we need to, we can cut one of these. 4 Friends playing the Teeth, 4 Brawl, 3 Medusa, 2 Tremaine. Okay, so we kind of have late game there. 3 Mauis. We got our goats, rabbits, crabs. We have crabs, people. We have crabs. Let's add another one in there, though. 4 fox, 3 snake. Let's go 4 snake. 3 Cusco, 4. So we got 3 cards to add in. I think this is going to be pretty doable. 3 cards to add in. Yzma outs cards does give them a card though, so we don't necessarily want that, but you can also hit your own cards and draw, so that's a potential option. Yzma is a strong potential. Ooh, super goof though. 91 cents. So, let's see. If we had 2 super goofs, we're getting close. We have 58 cents left to spend. We are on Teeth and Ambition, though. Ooh, what about? Drawing cards is always good. Questing for 2 is always good. If you know where we're at here, she is only 5 cents, so we could add in a Dolores Madrigal. So where would this give us as far as our play line goes? Magic Broom or Olaf on 1. On 2, either Cusco or you bounce your 1 with your snake. Obviously, it kind of counterproductive with your broom, but you can play it again and you get the draw later, or you bounce your Olaf, use that. Snakes, obviously, pairing up with your rabbits, your crabs, everything like that. So turn 2 would really be that, or you can Teeth and Ambition if heaven forbid they Bucky you turn 2. Turn 3 you have Friends, or you got what? Crab, Fox. How much is Pan? Peter Pan. Deal with that pesky Diablo right away. 44 cents. So let's add 2 of him in. Cut out the 1 Madrigal. We're 30 cents over. We gotta cut 30 cents out of this. Shouldn't be hard, right? It shouldn't be hard. Turn 4, we have Goat, Rabbit, and Castle. So we're going to get rid of those super goofs after all. 5 is your Maui, 6 Tremaine, Medusa. Let's see. We got how many cards to add? 1 more card to add. How many uninkwables are we at? 16? I'm okay with 16. It's at the high end, but 13 to 16 is I'm okay with. I don't want to go any higher. But we're on Teeth and Ambition as well. Do we go another Cusco or do we go with like Minnie Mouse? Cusco gets you the draw. Minnie Mouse is a turn 1 play, which pairs up better. Typically, but if you're behind a turn 2, Cusco. Let's go Cusco. Because unless they shift Diablo, it'll be turn 3 when you hit them anyway, which means you can go Olaf or Broom on 1, Cusco 2, Teeth 3. Then you quest Cusco, Teeth the Cusco, and the Diablo. Draw a card off Cusco. I like that playline. I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with this deck overall as a whole as well. So we only had to cut $40 off this deck. Here we go. 4 Magic Broom, 4 Olaf, 4 Cusco, 4 Madam Mim Snake, 4 Fox, 3 Crabs, 2 Peter Pan, just a really good card, Rush and Evasive, 2/3, deals with Diablo. We're trying to take down Bucky if you couldn't tell. 4 Goat, 4 Rabbit, 3 Maui, 2 Tremaine, 3 Medusa, 4 Brawls, 2 Teeth and Ambition. So we have 4 outs to Diablo between the Brawl, the Teeth, and the Peter Pans. Or sorry, not 4, 8. We definitely have 8. 4 Friends on the other side. B King Undisputed at 2, B Prep at 3, and Queen's Castle at 4. Once again, I actually like this deck quite a bit. So let's go ahead and save that as a budget deck. Budget R-A control. Once again, budget, control, competitive, save. And we have one deck left. Ooh, lots of thinking in this video. I should have maybe looked ahead at how did I want to do these. But it's also kind of fun being on the spot. Take that with that grain of salt though. Remember, this is on the spot, no pre-planning, no looking ahead at cards. So I guarantee between these 4 decks, there's at least a few things that we missed or were not optimal on. However, we're just trying to get these budget decks, decks into a budget range. Blue Steel, we're at 249. Where do we want to try and get this one down to? Imagine Green Steel if we left the budget at 150 like these other decks. That deck was just so easy to cut under 100 because you cut Robin Hoods, that's 160. You cut Beast, that's 235. You cut Diablos, that's 200. So, I mean, right there's like $600 that you cut just from those 8 cards. So, it's just so easy to get down to it. 250. Where is our money cards here? 250, 250. Can we get $100 out of the deck? Tinkerbell is 36. Tamatoa 36. Unfortunately, he might have to go again. Zeus possibly go. That's $8. $48 in Whole New World, but that's kind of the name of the decks. That's going to be a hard one to cut. Quill. Oh, man. I have an idea. It's so crazy. It just might work. So that would be what? 22 plus 28 would be 50. Tamatoas gets us 86. 90 some. Okay. Can we get this under $150? That's the goal we're going to go for. So, off the top, Tamatoa, gotta go. Zeus also gonna go. Whole New World, though. What if we even cut one of them? 2 Quills gone, 2 Dimes gone. Where does that put us? 153, needing 10 cards left. Okay. 10 cards left. Our turn 1 currently is Popsicle or Fortisphere. We're not playing Develop at the moment. But what if we go... This is going to be the most wild of the 4 decks, by the way. It's an idea. Just go with it. Just go with it. This is all an idea off the top. We're going to see how this looks in a second. Let's go 4 Great Stones. So we're right back to our 14 items. But we want to be more. That puts us a turn behind on the ramp, which, I mean, whatever. That's fine. Turn behind on the ramp. We are at 154. Smee there. So we need more characters. We got to be more character focused. We're playing Smee, though. Let's go 4 Captain Hooks. Gives us 12 turn 1 options. Again, some people play Develop anyway, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. 58 cards. So you can go like Hook 1. You got what? Scuttle and Smee as 2s. We got Mickey Mouse as a 3. Talahirum as 4s, 5, 6. Cut to Tinkerbell. Do I like where this is going? No, I really don't. Do I have a choice where this is going? No, I really don't. So 139 is where we're at. 14 uninkables. Okay, we can go higher on the uninkables. If we're cutting down the quills, let's get 1 jumps to kind of replace that early ramp. Where are we at total card-wise? 59. 30 characters. I don't know if I like 4 Great Stones in that case. Especially, so what? Turn 1, Popsicle, Fortisphere, or if you have the stone already, maybe Captain Hook. Otherwise, turn 2, Scuttle can look for an item, right? So do we go 2 stone, 2 quill? Kind of hurts the ramp though, but we are playing Mickey as well. So we're playing Mickey in there. 4-1 jumps, that's 7 ramp cards. 8, 9 ramp cards. Let's cut Stone Dragon to 2. Replaces the 2 fishbone. So we just play 2 less items. 1 extra grab your swords. Zeus is cool, but swords definitely helpful in this format. 2 babooms. I like those. Where are we at? Where's our cost? 57. We're at 139 essentially. 139. Turn 2. How many unequals did I say we're at now? 16. Only 2 quill. We don't want to get too high on the unequals. I do really like Tink. Let's go 1 more Tink back. So we have $2.02 for 2 cards. What if we go up on the scuttle? We got Grammatala, right? Yes, we have Grammatala. I'm assuming she's going to be too much, but how much is the 3 cost queen? The new legendary, yeah, 366. Exert, look at the top 4. I mean, Scuttle looks at the top 4. It's basically Ariel. We play Ariel and Steel Song at 4. So let's play Scuttle at 4. 78 cents for 1 more card. It's so crazy. It just might work. Okay, 1 more card. What do we have top end wise? Can't afford an Ariel. We have 78 cents. We got 4 Cogsworth, 2 Ariels, 3 Tinks. We have a lot of draw to get to the Ariel though, right? Or do we get rid of a Tink? Which would give us what? $11 to play with? Well, $10.68. No, yep, $10.68 for 2 cards. 78. This is so hard, especially keeping Whole New World. Because Whole New World, the 4 copies of it, is 1/3 of the deck's cost right now. If we would have made this video 2 weeks ago, it would have been so much easier. To do. How do we want to do? 1 card. 1 card to rule them all. So, I guess what is the idea here versus other decks? You're going to try to wheel potentially turn 4 or 5 to combat Bucky Discard versus red-blue. What if you ramp and get McDuck Manor out early? Is that the play? McDuck Manor, once again, it's just such a good card, having 9 willpower, getting you the 2 lore. Or do we go another unequal with how far we'll go? Because you get to look at 2 cards, add 1, ink 1. That's pretty good. Do we add 2 of it? Do we even want Great Stone Dragon, period? I do. I don't, but I do. We got the Scuttles to help hit also. 1 card left. Man. Okay, let's cut down 1 Scuttle, add 2 McDuck Manor, and I think that's just what we call it. We kept saying 68 cents anyway, so it's kind of poetic justice that we end with 68 cents left in our budget. Do I like this deck? Am I content with this deck? Let's see. Did we do it? Did we get the top 4 decks all under $150? Captain Hook, 4. 3 Scuttle, 4 Smee, 3 Mouse, 4 Tala, 4 Hiram, 4 Cogsworth, 2 Ariel, 3 Tinkerbell. Stuff like this is why Pixelborn is so important. Because you're on a budget, you want to see if this works the way you want it to, so you don't have to commit to spending all that money. That is why online simulators are so important. We don't have it though, so we're just going to go off theory. 2 Baboom, 4 1 jumps, 2 Let It Goes, 4 Whole New Worlds, 3 Grab Your Swords, 4 Popsicle, 4 Fortisphere, 2 Quill, 2 Stone, 2 McDuck Manor. I think I'm okay with that as far as budget builds go. If you do go down to export, you can go to Ink Table. Obviously, you can play webcam. There's so many Discords popping up now with webcam games trying to make it where you can match up relatively quick. I've just seen so many that weren't quick, and I've heard a lot of negative things about it. So there's that, and just the time it takes to play that way. Ink Table is playing against an AI, but you can build as many decks on Dreamborn that you want, import them all into Ink Table, and test against those specific decks. You can pick on the play, on the draw, and test that way. That's what I started doing. It's not the same because the AI kind of plays like a potato at times, but hey, you get to see how your deck draws relatively and can do in certain situations. So I mean, it's something. It's something. So we're going to duplicate that so we can go ahead and save it. We tried this budget week last format and it just did not work at all. So we'll try to cram it onto one video this time. See how that works. Budget SS wheel. It is still wheel though. No, not mid-range, not multiplayer. We cannot click budget. Save. So we have all them. Ooh, budget RB's got 4 views already. Nice. We got 4 views. But yeah, so I guess these are quick drafts of the top 4 decks in the game. Again, if you want to search me out on Dreamborn, feel free to. I have lots of deck ideas, and I'm not saying all of them are good. A lot of time I'll just be at work and I'll be like, I wonder how would this work, and I'll just go ahead, put it into here, and then just save it a lot of the time and see what happens. So a lot of decks that are on here might make it into the Discord server, and we'll talk about it, but a lot of them don't ever make it onto the channel. So if you want to search me out, Gaming Inkwell on dreamborn.inc, you can to see all the deck lists that I have on there. Again, not saying any of them are super crazy. Just sometimes we're sitting at work and what we decide to just put pen to paper ends up on here. But anyway, guys, let me know down below if you like this kind of video. And again, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming back. The growth of this channel has been absolutely insane. I could not do this without you guys, so I appreciate it more than you guys will ever know. Thanks again, and take care.